Hey, Dennis Mattern here with The Complete Advisor. I hope be fastly becoming your favorite podcast. Remember, you can catch this podcast wherever you consume podcasts, so Apple, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartMusic, Pandora, the list goes on. But this is a little bit of bonus content that I wanted to share with you, and I wanted to set it up because it's short. It's just a couple minutes. But this is my conversation with Jonathan Lee, and we dropped into a very specific topic, virtual efficiencies. And I'm going to go ahead and just let us drop right into the conversation, virtual efficiencies in the new world with appointments. Here we go.
And we have been just recently expanding out nationwide now because of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So we did everything in person a few years back, including our educational workshop events, and we switched to 100% virtual. So now everything is purely webinar based. We run maybe 25 to 30 webinars per month out of our office all across the country, and now my clients are scattered about, and I can wear Hawaiian shirts and flip-flops to work every day.
Very nice. Very nice. How is that? I knew you were expanding out, but I didn't realize that it was 100% virtual now.
Yeah, it's 100% virtual, and 90% of people are not in my general region anymore. So it's been really nice, and it's one of the silver linings of the pandemic, really, that it's been sort of acceptable now to be getting advice from people that you'll never meet. So, I think prior to the pandemic, it was difficult to get people to give you all their money if you never met them. But now it's perfectly acceptable. And I've actually had people fly in to meet us.
Really?
Yeah, occasionally, but for the most part, it's and by the way, they never even see my face. Yeah. So the people have been telling me that I have a face for radio.
Look at that. You're joining us virtually, but we have a whole audience out on the glass wall here, which is great. Always drawing a crowd.
Yeah. And so the other sort of silver lining of the virtual is that I do all my meetings online, but not through video. So no Skype or anything like that. It's all just screen share. So I can manipulate their computer. They can look at my screen, and they never see my face. So it enables me to actually multitask.
Well, that's awesome.
And so we've been more productive because of that.
Do you find like the meeting and people's attention is shorter with video, or?
No, I don't think so. I think people like the technology, and I think I think we're not doing like a PowerPoint presentation like they're doing at their meetings at work.
Yeah.
We're kind of going into their accounts, pulling up their statements, educating them online about everything, and I'm showing them resources also that they can kind of use without me to evaluate stuff and to research stuff, and I think they appreciate it. When it's purely teleconference, however, when there's no video or no screen share, those teleconferences typically last half an hour now. So they're shorter meetings, and so that's also made us more efficient and proficient.
Is there less, this is a total curiosity question, but is there less small talk? Is it more to the business point?
Yes, I would say absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's a tiny bit of just breaking the ice because they're in different areas of the country. So it's like, hey, how's your weather? Is your summer over? Is it freezing cold? Whatever. But I would say there is definitely less shooting the shit.
That's interesting. Yeah. Right to the business.
Which
I like it.
We like it that more. Yeah.
Does it change the hours that you're working?
No, it hasn't really changed the hours that I'm working. But I do have a little bit more free time. Mm-hmm. So like when we had to have an in-person meeting, you have a lot of more, like you said, the small talk and the breaking of the ice. And then the welcome and goodbye, we're giving them water and giving them, if they're hungry, we'll give them a snack. And, physically bringing them in and out of the office. So all that extra time, I'd say 15 to 20 minutes extra per meeting that I'm not doing anything. Mm-hmm. So it does give us extra time.
That's really got to add up because of the volume of meetings you do.
Yeah. So we've been doing a lot more meetings. So it's pretty common for me to have 8 meetings back-to-back in a day that I'm at the office. But they're not, they're scheduled back-to-back, but I do have some free time in between them. Some of them go, sometimes they last a full hour, but the majority of them I'd say are 30 to 45 minutes.
Well, when you're doing like 8 a day like that, that really speaks highly of your staff and the organizational structure that you have in place then. Yeah,
I'm sort of living the dream right now, which was running our practice where I don't have to do anything in between meetings. Mm-hmm. So I go into the meeting, somebody hands me a file, I leave the meeting, I hand the file off, and I don't ever see that file again until I meet with the client again.
Golly. Yeah. So do you do like a briefing then, or do you have like a short synopsis that you?
No, my office is able to interpret my chicken scratch. So they know exactly what to do. Realistically speaking, there's only like 5 to 10 things that you do in between meetings. And so we have a checklist of if it was done. If we're trying to reach out to the client to get more information, I'll know in the next meeting if we reached out, if they responded, I'll know what they sent back. It'll all be in the file. So it takes me a split second to see what's going on.
Hey, thanks for catching this bonus content with Jonathan Lee. Great conversation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop us a comment on the podcast. I'd love to know what you're thinking. We'll see you next episode.
This podcast is for financial professional use only and not for use with the general public. The information provided is the exclusive property of Creative One and is protected by copyright and other intellectual property laws of the United States. This material has been prepared for informational and educational purposes only. It is not intended to provide, and should not be relied upon for, accounting, legal, tax or investment advice. Creative One is not responsible for the results of programs discussed on this podcast or any liability stemming from the use of it. Although we may promote or recommend the services offered by this company, agents are ultimately responsible for the use of any materials or services and agree to comply with the compliance requirements of their broker-dealer and registered investment advisor, if applicable, and the insurance carriers they represent. Copyright 2022, Creative One Marketing Corporation.